Hello, welcome to Sociology 3312 Statistics for the Summer 3 session of 2016. My name is Professor Richard Smalley, and I'm going to walk through a little video here for you that this applies to both my online and hybrid course. And let's see, because both courses will be doing the same content. Same exam, same everything. It's just the hybrid will have class meeting times to discuss material. All right, so the first thing you want to do is let's kind of, I'll hit the highlights of the syllabus. I'm not going to read everything, but there's my name, both sections, not applicable for online, but there's the class time in the room for the hybrid class. Best way to reach me is email either via Blackboard or at this uhd.edu address. I do have an office phone at Lone Star College, University Park. I won't be there that often, so I would not use that to contact me. If you need to meet with me, or we can meet face to face, or if you have to talk or something, we can make some sort of arrangements. But if you want a quicker response, you'll want to get a hold of me electronically first via email. Now, I will be available from 5 to 7, maybe a little later on Monday and Wednesday after my hybrid class in N925, which is the tutoring lab up on the 9th floor of the North Building, which I highly recommend people, both online and hybrid class, using. You don't have to come there when I'm there. I believe their hours are 8 to 8 on Monday through Thursday in the summer. I don't think they have any Friday or Saturday hours like they do in the long semesters, because I don't think there's any courses meeting then. So, but yeah, they're supposed to have somebody, unless they just were sick that day or something. But there should be somebody with stat, can handle stat at any time you go in there. So if you're in the online class and the time I'm there is not convenient, perhaps another time would work. Go on in there and show them the stuff and ask for help. They'll be happy to help you. Textbook, you don't need a textbook. I have notes posted in Blackboard, which we'll talk more about here shortly. A calculator, at a minimum, you need a scientific calculator, one that can handle some square roots and stuff like that. If you have to buy something, you could get a TI-30X for about $10. If you have a TI-83 or 84, something like that, it's got useful statistic features that you'll see in my notes and stuff. You don't have to even use them, or perhaps you have a friend or something that's taking math classes where they needed that calculator, and maybe they'll let you borrow it for the 5 weeks. But that's not a required apparatus, but a basic scientific calculator is. Okay, course description. I'm not going to read all this. Online course. I'm pretty much covering everything that I'm in this video that's here, so I'm not worried about reading through that. I mentioned about the tutoring lab, Blackboard, obviously for both classes. You will be paying attention to any announcements and stuff I make in Blackboard. So you want to check Blackboard every day because this class moves really fast. Now we have, there's 3 exams. We have what's called an Excel assignment, and that's an optional thing, and an optional final exam. So there's one of 2 ways you can get a grade in this course. Is that you can take the 3 exams, and since that covers all the course material, if you're happy with those 3 scores, you're done. That'll be your grade for the course. Or if you want to replace one of the exam grades with this Excel assignment, you can do that, but one thing to keep in mind is you also have to take the final. So what happens is if you take this Excel and you take the final is going to count. And then out of those 4, the Excel, Exam 1, Exam 2, and Exam 3, out of those 4, 2 of those will count automatically as 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. The reason for that is what makes the final mandatory is because somebody could theoretically just not do an exam and do the Excel assignment to replace it, meaning they didn't have to bother to learn that material. Well, in that case, that's why I'm instituting that you would have to take the final because, and it would have to count under this scenario, because that way the final is going to take material from each of those 3 exams. So that way you couldn't just get away with taking 2 exams and doing the Excel assignment as your course grade. So, but this does give you, the opportunity to replace an exam. Technically, you can replace 2 exams if you do the Excel assignment, because then your other lowest exam will drop, but the final will have to count. Because that way, under either scenario, you will have sort of been forced to take a testing involving all the content. All right. Hopefully you'll do well enough on the 3 exams that you'll be good with that, and that'll be it. So, but you do have this option. The exams for both courses will be taken online. There'll be multiple choice. They'll be on Blackboard, so you'll go in there under the certain times and take it and submit it, and that'll be all you have to do. No paperwork's required for submission. I'll put the dates open here pretty soon. I don't have them ready yet. You'll have like probably a 2 or 3 day window, probably 3 day, I would think, to take the exam, each exam. So you'll have to just fit it in there somewhere in that time frame. I usually give about 4 hours, which is plenty of time. The exams, I think the first exam is 20, the second and the third are 18 questions, and then the final, I believe, is 20 questions. That's plenty of time. And you will have, access to the materials and stuff. But one thing to keep in mind, you still want to prepare for the exam, because once you start that exam in Blackboard, the timer is going to run. So if you're suddenly just trying to learn new material or figure stuff out, that's going to count against you from a time standpoint. So but you do have the ability to look at your notes and stuff as reference materials, but you kind of want to be familiar with the material as best as possible when you're actually taking the exam, because you'll do better that way. It's not easy for people to figure out, math on the spot. Well, I'll just skip these 2 sections and figure it out during the test. I would not recommend that strategy. Okay, here's the Excel assignment. I'll talk about that later. I think I'll have a separate video just for that, for anyone that happens to need to do it. Final exam, we can talk more about that later too, but I've already kind of basically said it's going to be kind of evenly distributed. 20 problems. So, that's not divisible by 3, but it'll, maybe 6, 7, and 7 or something problems from each of the exams. But it'll be spread out fairly evenly amongst the 3 exams. Academic calendar, extra credit, there isn't any. I will adjust the multiple choice grades a little bit, sort of allowing for extra credit. I'll make that announcement a little bit later. So your score will be a little bit higher than what you actually get on the percent. But there's no extra credit assignments. I've already mentioned that you can do that Excel assignment to replace a test grade, and then also you have the final. You want to call that extra credit. That's your extra credit. But there's nothing like where you can wash and wax my car for extra points or anything like that. So, okay, here's some stuff I have to put in here. Obviously, I'm not going to read that, and that takes care of the syllabus. Now, as I mentioned, the syllabus, a book is not required, but I have a PDF file of a book here that you're welcome to use, because sometimes that will help people if they have some sort of book reference they can look at. It's very, I think as far as math books go, pretty user friendly, pretty easy to read, pretty easy to follow, not too overly technical. Got lots of pretty pictures. So you have that as a reference. And then I have a list of practice problems from that book, which aren't required, but like anything, the more practice you can do. I know it's a short class, but the more practice before you take the test, the better you'll be. And I have them broken down by each exam, sections for each exam that relate to that book. There's one that doesn't really relate to the book. You kind of have to go with my notes more than it's in the book, but you want to follow what I do in my notes and the video for that. So you have that option as practice problems. Let's see, lecture notes. Click on that. I have notes, and you can see that everything's organized by exam. So there's no wondering, well, I wonder what sections are going to be covered on this exam or that exam. All contained nice and neat right here in the folder. So you come in here and PDF files, And there's really no other option there. There is a thing that just has some terms and definitions that could sneak up maybe on the first test. But you come up here and you want to look at, I don't know, I'll just do measures of central tendency, open it up, bam, there's my notes for that. Go through there, there you go. So you have notes for every section in the course, all organized in each folder. Back again, so that takes care of that. And one more. I also have some videos that I need to probably redo at some point, but that doesn't affect us. So you come down, video, click on it, boom. Now some of these are YouTube, but some of these are not.
This video is based on measures of central tendency.
Let's get rid of that voice.
More commonly known as mean, median, and mode.
Click on that. But some of these aren't YouTube, and I came up with this idea. So this, you see, they're also organized by exam. This has always been, that's why I need to redo some of these videos, but I should have had this in prior semesters, but this first semester I've done this to help people. You used to YouTube, and you come to these, and these are from an old system I used to use when I worked full time for Lone Star College. Hadn't had a chance to redo them. But anyway, this is because this has been an issue. People click on these, but look, I put this little bit in here about using Firefox. So any of these, Firefox as your browser, because watch what happens when I click on this, and it doesn't like it. Now, I don't know, maybe some situation it might work for you, but most of the time it does not. But I went ahead and opened up this course in Firefox. Well, I take that back. I didn't open it up. So let me click on it. Oh, I guess I could have had that ready, but oh well, it's all right. At least I was logged in. You come in here, and it's probably going to ask you to allow Silverlight, so you say yes to that. But now I'm in Firefox instead of Chrome. That could work with other browsers. I don't think it works for Internet Explorer. I don't know much about this new Edge from, that comes with Windows 10. I don't know, or even with maybe Apple computers are different. I don't know much about that, but this is a PC right here, so. Okay, this one opened up. I think maybe because I've already done this once. I played around with it earlier. And
this recording is for the normal distribution part 1.
Silverlight. Maybe let's see if that was
the normal distribution is a
We'll just go ahead and allow that. Oh, opened up too many windows there, didn't I? Well, maybe because I've already allowed Silverlight once, it's ready for all of them now. All right. Well, okay.
This video,
but it gives you that message: allow Silverlight. So some of these videos are going to say, I'm going to get rid of all this business. Go back to the Chrome. Yeah. So most of these are Firefox required. They're only the first 5 are YouTube videos. If that changes, I'll let you know, and I'll make an announcement about that if any of that changes. Now, these videos don't match my lecture notes perfectly because I should have, when I made these videos, another reason I need to do them again is I could have saved the PDF file that went with the video. Well, long story short, I used my current lecture videos at the time, and I've kind of, semester to semester, play around with them, tweak them here and there, whatever. So if you're expecting my lecture note videos to match up perfectly with this, it will not. But the video will match up with what I'm explaining on the screen. That's the important part. So we'll let you know. One thing I didn't mention earlier, I was here, the course description. Sometimes this confuses people. Since I have 2 of the same course, I cross-listed them together. So actually, if you're in the hybrid class and you click on that and you see all this business where it says fully online, just ignore that. That is, obviously, if you log in a Blackboard and you see that's your course, and there are the 2 section numbers. I just happened to choose the fully online one as the master course, and the shell course was the other one. So that's, wait, I'm not in an online class, don't worry, no panic. That's still you, trust me. Because like I said, the content's the same for both courses. So let's see, so there, we have videos for all these sections, and exam reviews and solutions. So there's a good resource for you. Practice problems. I have the, click on this, and I've got the problems there, and I think there's a key at the end of it with just the answers themselves. So, you could practice these and see how many you can get right, using notes and blah, blah, blah. That's always good. Yeah, just looking directly at the answers doesn't really help you. Oh, people say, well, I studied. I looked at the solutions on your review. That's not really studying because you're not really putting much brain power into it. But these solutions are there then to go and you see if you were stuck on things, then you could see what I said about it. See, I have comments here, and then these problems don't always take a lot of work for this first section, so you don't see a lot of stuff there. But you can see where I've written stuff. You'll see more writing on the other ones. But now you see stuff there, and that explains what I did versus than just giving the answer itself. So obviously, you'd learn better if you could try to do as many of those as you could. Now this one, I didn't think editing the file was worth doing at this point in time. So there's a section I'm not covering during the summer that I may eliminate permanently. But as far as you're concerned, so that means instead of tweaking the file, I just put this note next to it. That means you can omit 27 through problems 27 through 30, I think it's the last 4, which that means, okay, then you can ignore them on the solutions file also. So you have 1, 2, 3. I don't have one for the final because the final, optional final, it's just going to come from the test and the test and the sample, so you'll have all that information. It's not really a new set of, it's not new stuff. It's all coming from these 3 exams. And since you're taking it online, you'd have access to all this, so I didn't put a separate review for that. Okay, Blackboard exams. Once the course kind of gets going a little bit, I'm expecting the first exam will be, I'll open it up this week, but it'll be, the days it'll be available will be probably early next week or something like that. Time flies on a 5-week course, so obviously you don't want to waste time, start studying. But so right now you can't see anything. You won't see anything when you go in there. It's all gray here. But when I get those dates available, and even then, you probably won't see anything until the first date it becomes open. But they're going to pop up, and I'll announce the dates, and as an announcement in Blackboard, so you'll know when they're coming up. And then they'll light up colorful looking, like green, whatever these colors are, green and red, and then you click on it. The timer will be running. You're allowed to use notes and stuff and blah, blah, blah. But remember, you're under a time limit, probably about 4 hours for each one. So long as you start it within the proper deadline, you'll have the full. So if the deadline was midnight at the end of day 3, start it before midnight, and you'll have the full 4 hours. All right, so we'll put those. So there's where you'll go to take your exams. You'll click on them. Boom. When they're ready, you open them up. You hit submit when you're done, and that'll be all you have to do. So there's where you'll find your exams when they're ready. The stat assignment, I'll talk more about that in a separate video. That's not worth talking about now. Charts and tables, those will be more for exam 2 and exam 3 material, but obviously you'll want to have those opened up when you take a test. If you prefer to print them to make it faster to save time, that's not necessarily a bad idea. But you also can open up the PDF files if you don't have access to a printer or don't want to print them. That's fine. But printing might save you a little time. That way the chart's right there in front of you in paper. So let's see. I think that covers about everything here. So as far as strategy, I'd just use a combination of, I've certainly used the lecture videos, and then you can also look at my notes, which I've said earlier would not maybe necessarily match the videos perfectly, but that'll have all the content you need, and then you have that book as a reference if you want to go that. You might understand the material well enough just from the videos and the notes. But if you need to use the book, so whatever combination of those 3 things that work best for you, that's what I would suggest. But as I say, I'd probably start with the videos would be my plan of action. So With that being said, I believe that's everything. I mentioned about the combined courses. And I believe that's it. And I wish you the best.